Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning to you. It is Coffee and Time here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us on Thursday morning. It's September 19th. My name's Joe Callahan. There's Bob Lotter right over there. Hi, Bob.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Nice to have you here with us. Everything okay? You want to show your hand?
Show my hand.
Yes.
What is this? It's like in poker, you show your hand?
Yes.
Oh.
Your left hand.
My left hand.
Little bit of an issue there.
Well, hey.
But everything's better now?
Everything's
good?
better.
All right,
Yes.
Great. Little surgery for Bob. Now, is it, I don't know, not hereditary, but is it something, if you have whatever you have that was going on in your left hand, is it going to happen to your right hand too?
I have
Did they
no
say?
idea.
Oh, they didn't say?
This
I would
was
ask
the
that.
little claw that I used to grab the money
claw.
out of clients' wallets.
And
it was just, it wasn't working as well as I wanted to.
So now you can get back into wallets easily enough. Yeah?
Well, yeah.
Okay, good.
As long as they don't notice.
We're expecting Sue Tessier-McKenzie from the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times to join us at some point during this hour. She should be here just as soon as she can. But I do got a good question for Bob. I've been asking it all week here on the Coffee In program. Let's get your legal mind working, Bob, on this one.
Oh, golly.
Turn. We had the situation with Trump down in Florida on his golf course.
Yes.
And they keep referring to it as an attempted assassination. Can it be called an attempted assassination if the person doesn't fire the weapon? Can he be charged with that?
I would think that he probably could be.
But he didn't do anything.
Well, he did do something.
But he didn't shoot.
He placed himself with a high-powered rifle
In the bushes. Yes.
close to the former president.
Well, what, 500 yards? That's close?
It's close with that kind of a weapon.
Okay.
That kind of a weapon is pretty accurate at that distance.
Okay.
So he placed himself in that position. I would think if you had an analogous situation, you have a person sitting at a table. A waiter comes in. He has a bowl of soup. The bowl of soup has been filled with arsenic. He doesn't pass it to the person sitting at the table, but he has it available to pass to the person sitting at the table. Is he trying? Can he be charged with attempted harm to that individual? I would think if he was the person who put the poison into the soup and brought it into the room and was in the presence of the person that was most likely to be the subject of getting the poisoned soup, then I would think that, yes, you could charge that person with an attempt to harm the individual who was the subject of the delivery.
Okay. Well, you're the lawyer, so obviously you know more about it than I do. But just looking at other court cases and things like that, and courts seem to be just so literal of what's going on.
Because Sue walked in.
Sue walks in. Yay.
With another glamorous outfit.
Thank you. And you? Look at you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He had a little.
What did you do?
Well, I
issue.
was joking that I was mansplaining something to my wife, and it didn't go well. But it's a minor operation. It's no big deal.
Okay.
As long as it's minor.
So
Go ahead. Back to where you were.
Wait, we're
Where
going to
I
talk
was.
about how Sue's outfit, which
Yeah,
is...
it looks lovely. Anyway,
Oh, golly. Did you at least put the camera on her so people
I
can
did
see?
for a little bit. There she is. Hi, Sue. Hi, Sue. Nice of you to join us. All right. Now the question is, not the question. It always seems that courtrooms they're just so literal. They seem to try to be so black and white. And here's an example: if 3 people are in a car, and I gotta say this correctly, and the driver is speeding.
Right.
Why is the person in the back seat arrested?
I don't think the person in the back seat would be arrested for speeding.
They haven't done anything.
I don't think they'd be arrested for operating the car speeding. But they might have committed some other offense that has nothing to do with the speeding, but which the police officer observed at the time of the stop.
All right.
Maybe they're smoking marijuana. Maybe they're
We're just talking
drinking
about
liquor.
The alleged assassination attempt of Trump in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Can you be charged with assassination if you don't shoot the gun?
No, well,
Because he didn't shoot the gun.
Wasn't assassination. It's the attempt to do it.
But did he even point the gun? Can that be proven?
I think the fact that he brought the weapon which is a high-powered weapon,
Was it
into
loaded?
close. I don't recall.
Okay.
Close proximity
Yeah.
to an individual who is probably the target. I mean, he's not out there trying to shoot the caddy. He's most likely trying to shoot the former president.
You don't know that.
I would think that the inference
This whole
could
thing
be
is suspicious,
he's-
and there's more to
he's-
this whole
his intent
scenario.
was to threaten the former president, not to
All right.
shoot the caddy.
Then, with that knowledge, what if you're in Texas
Mm-hmm.
or New Mexico or Arizona? I forget which state it is, where you can have a sidearm on your hip.
Having
Some
a-
have open carry laws. So
Open carry law doesn't mean that you are allowed to use the weapon to place a threat to somebody else. You may be able to walk down the street armed with a AK-47 over your shoulder, as a soldier would carry it if you were marching, but it doesn't mean that you can swing around, point that weapon at a individual walking down the sidewalk in the opposite direction to you. That's a threat to that individual. So open
Okay.
carry, I think, is going to be different from actually threatening somebody. And in this case, it seems as though he positioned himself in the bushes. He positioned the rifle in such a way that when the former president was on the golf course, he would be a target. I think the likely assumption is that there was nobody else out there who was likely to be a target other than the former president. And yeah, I think it goes to an attempt to assassinate.
we get a call in on this subject, 766-1240. You can call one in as well. Just says on the Trump thing, the shooter planned this. That would fall under harmful intent, which is a felony. Would you agree with that, Bob?
I will agree that the shooter plan. Yeah, I'll
He
agree with it.
planned
Not
harmful
knowing the
intent.
statute, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to fill in on this, Sue?
The whole thing isn't making any sense.
Okay.
Because then you're reading that Trump wasn't even planning on golfing that day,
It was the last minute.
and it was a last minute thing. So how could this person do
Oh,
12?
I brought this up all week.
Yeah,
Have you heard that, Bob? It was a last minute
Golfing
decision to go
decision.
golf, yet he was in the bushes for 12 hours.
yeah.
How did he know?
I don't. He
That-
may not
that's-
have known. He may have
something's not
said,
right.
"This is." I believe that this is close to Mar-a-Lago, wasn't it? Or
Well,
a
yeah,
golf
it's
course that
the owner. He
Okay.
owns the golf
Okay,
course.
so it's a golf course at which the former president is known to have played before. The guy
Yes.
positions himself. He may be saying, "I'm just going to wait and see."
We brought that up yesterday. So maybe he is going to the golf course every day, knowing
don't-
one day Trump is going to show up.
Or this may be the first time he did it, but again, figuring that sometime or other the former president's going to show up. Yeah.
Or Sue, was he tipped off? I always love a good conspiracy theory.
Well, that's the other thing they're saying is he was tipped off, but
But by who?
right, because again, Trump is saying it was a last minute decision.
Right.
Did this guy have food with him for a couple days? And you know what? There's more to this than is.
Well, I don't think he would have been staying there, planning to stay
Well,
overnight.
no, that's what I'm
because-
saying. If you, but
Yeah.
once you're in there, why would you risk trying to get back in?
Right.
Because of the supposed high security.
Okay, well, we won't have answers for this.
No,
for a
we will
while.
not.
So I mentioned yesterday the other thing, the media, when they run out of questions to ask the police officers, when they all say no comment, they all say, okay, well, we got to come up with something. So they run to the neighbors. So let's go to the neighbors. And one neighbor said, well, they're a very weird family. and because they said they keep their horses in their house. So yeah, that's what
They're
one's
talking about
allegation was.
the
shooter.
the shooter, not the former president.
No.
Okay.
He keeps his horses in the barn like your normal people.
Normal people. do.
Okay.
That's where I keep my horse.
Oh, all right.
I don't have a horse.
I won't make rude comments.
Well, anyway, you gotta have a good sized house to keep a horse in your house.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, moving on, and we'll get your opinion on this too, Bob. It's sort of a legal thing as well, and it's sad all the way around. It's the we had that 7-year-old girl who was shot in Providence and died.
Yes.
Well, now they've arrested the father of the 7-year-old. And they're saying he's charged with 2 counts of child endangerment and driving on a suspended license. Well, okay, that's fine. Not that it's fine, but
Right.
That's minor.
That is
Right.
minor.
Minor.
They're saying Providence police are saying he got into a verbal altercation with the 2 guys somewhere in Providence.
Okay.
And they pull out the guns and start shooting, and they hit the 9-year-old girl.
Right.
7-year-old girl. So now he's arrested because he put his kids in compromising position, in an endangered position.
I'd really
can
want
that
to
be
know.
proven?
I'd really want to know more about the circumstances leading up to the
The
actual
argument?
shooting, because if it had been, for example, a road rage incident where another driver was disputing traveling on the highway, and suddenly they shot the child by mistake, I'm not sure that would qualify for having put the child in danger deliberately or even negligently, because road rage incidents happen spontaneously.
I don't think this is a
But road rage hasn't been even, that
okay.
would have been mentioned.
Yeah.
Then
The other two weren't in a car.
all right. Then I think it would be more along the lines of, did the father have a reasonable expectation that the individuals who shot and killed the daughter would be taking any kind of similar action against him if he was alone? And if he thought that, then why would he bring the daughter into a situation where he could expect to be shot at himself? It's going to be a very gray area. It's going to have a lot of
I think that one's going to be
background
I think
information.
it's going to be an easy one myself, because
Oh, okay.
absolutely. Because if there was an altercation,
Right.
it's going to be very easy to determine. Did the guy drive to them after the fact? Well, there you go. You put your child in harm's way because you already had an altercation. Now you're going to them. So once they determine how those steps went along,
Right.
I think it's going to be very easy to determine whether or not he put the child in harm's way. I can't use the word intentionally, but thinking negligently, right? You know, if they had an altercation at Cumberland Farms, and now this guy knows where these two live, and he decides to go to their house because we're not done with this, and now they pull out guns. Now you put your child in harm's way.
Actually,
I
both
think
two
so-
kids. There's a 5-year-old in the
True.
back
So
seat,
that
too.
should be easy enough to determine, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he did that's what happened, but it should be easy enough to determine how it
I
happened.
think Sue is right. There's facts that are missing from the
Yeah.
narrative
From what
so
we
far.
have, yeah.
So when you fill in those facts, then it'll be easier.
But I
Yeah.
think the facts are going to be easy to get to. That's my thought process.
Well, the
be.
police must be thinking that he did something like this and say, he's only, I'm going to swing around the corner and I'm going to yell at these guys, or for whatever reason. I
Right.
don't know why.
Right.
And so therefore, he's put his children in danger. Or did it happen very quickly, spur of the moment? Kind
Right.
of thing?
Was the argument taking place and it happened? See,
Yes.
that's the other, like you say, if that was a
So-
road rage, that's the type of situation it would be.
So the dad will be in court today. I guess it's his arraignment today. And the two suspects that did the shooting, they've been arrested, charged with murder. I think it's first-degree murder too.
Wow.
In
Yeah.
this case. So, and the father's only 27,
You know.
which
Wow.
means he had the daughter when he was 20. So
Okay.
he's just a kid. So, all right. We did get another note come in, 766-1240 to Bob. Caller has a storage locker, and a friend of the manager of the storage locker broke into their locker without the caller's permission. What can he do legally?
I think he should immediately contact the police department. If he had a storage locker in a facility and he's the one who's supposed to have sole access to it, as long as he's paid the rental fees, if someone, whether or not he's an associate of the manager, breaks in, then I think that it's breaking and entering, and he should contact the police and report it. Thereafter, if he believes that items of value were taken from his storage facility, I think he would want to contact an attorney to see whether or not he can bring a claim against the suspected individual, either for replevin, which is a fancy way of saying give me the stuff back, or for the financial damages incurred by the loss of the items that were taken.
All right, I got a follow-up question on this, and I'll get to that when we come back. We're going to take our first break here on the Coffee and program. More coming your way. Comments and questions, call them in at 766-1240.
Let's check out the entertainment at Chan's this weekend. Tomorrow night, Friday night, the 20th of September, popular rock and blues outfit led by guitar ace Neil Vitullo features Dave Howard on harmonica and lead vocals, and Steve Bigelow on the bass, and Mike LaBelle on the drums. It's Neil and the Vipers. Friday night at Chan's, 15 in advance, $20 at the door. And then on Saturday night at 8 p.m., J.W. Jones Blues Band, 20 at the door. 20 in advance and 25 at the door. Now, Ottawa native J.W. Jones was Billboard Top 10 Blues Artist and winner of Best Guitarist in 2020 at the IBC. Celebrate everything now with special guest Jimmy Vaughn with J.W. Jones Blues Band at Chan's Saturday night. And then coming up next week, Heidi Nurk. I'll tell you more about that later. It's Chan's, 267 Main Street, Woonsocket, and they serve fantastic food there, too.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with RE/MAX Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first. And he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
All right, it is Coffee and Air on ON Radio. I'm Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder and Sue Tester McKenzie. And Sue, time for a first message from the Blackstone Valley Call and Times.
Good morning, everybody. Today is the 19th, which is the last day for voting. You can go online to www.woonsocketcall.com to place your votes for your favorite restaurants or, beauty, etc. Again, if you need anything from the office, we still have people going to our old office. We are now across from right, and it's even worse right now because the parking lot is under construction.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So if anybody needs anything prior to coming to the office, call us. You can call Christina at 767-8503, or you can call my cell at 487-4136. If it's back issues of the paper, we can help you out with that. Circulation issues, we can forward it to the right people. So again, 154 Main Street, Woonsocket. Can give us a call at 487-4136.
Now, far be it for me, Sue, to tell the call what to do.
But
But the sign for the call is still on the building.
Started on the sign.
It still says the call at 75 Main Street.
We can't.
You can't take it down?
We can't touch that.
Historical?
That is historical.
Oh.
However, I'm going to top that one.
Okay.
Because we went and got a sign for this office.
Mm-hmm.
Something quick, temporary. Because,
Yep.
the mayor had been talking about putting the, I don't know what you call them, vertical or horizontal signs sticking out into the road so people can see as they're approaching a business. So we did something temporarily, which is a window cling. My coworker yesterday sent me a picture of the front door, and you cannot see the window cling because they are clear. So we decided we're going to just at least temporarily put white paper behind the words so that it'll appear to be a white sign.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
Don't get me started.
That is so funny that the call sign has to stay up because it's historical.
Yeah, that falls in some.
Wow.
I don't know to what degree it needs to stay up or whatever the case is, but the Historical Society was very involved with the the transfer at the time of purchase. They were very, kind of letting them know, okay, you get these big ideas to buy this, but this is what you can and can't do
Right.
before you even sign on the dotted line.
I think you guys should call your advertising department at the call times and see if they can help you out, because they know how to do advertising and put up
Okay,
signs.
so if we should call the advertising department, my number again is 487-4136.
All right.
Open for suggestions.
Well, I just had a great one. Take down the sign that says the call at the old place, but you can't do it. all
Yeah, I
right.
don't think we can. That's part. Everything
All right.
falls under historical.
We had the person call back that gave us the note about the whole thing with the storage locker, and they said that, yes, they did call the police, and they
Good.
did file a report. They just want to know, what can we do? Can we go after the person that broke in? But my question is, and I've never done this, renting a storage locker, but when you rent a storage locker, is it like renting an apartment? And I remember when I rented apartments, in the small print down at the bottom, it says, management reserves the right to enter your dwelling.
Yep.
We'll try to give you as much advanced knowledge as
Right.
possible, but we might not give you any.
There might not
And we
be
can,
any.
We can enter
Yeah.
at any time.
Entering at any time does not include the right to pilfer the property of the tenant or the person who has a storage locker and to take the stuff away.
It
unless
doesn't
you,
say anything was taken.
That's what I was going to ask. Does it,
It
say?
just says
what-
they broke in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they broke the lock.
All right.
And yeah, you got to do it during. You can't do it at 3 in the morning and like that. But usually it's during the day, kind of thing. And we tried to get a hold of you, and we couldn't. But I don't know what the emergency.
Well,
is.
like let's say you have a leak.
Okay.
Something's leaking to the second floor. They got to get into the third floor quickly. They call you, tell you, but
Yeah.
they got to get in there quickly.
Just playing devil's advocate, Bob.
Good.
That's what we
good.
do.
I can see the horns.
That's
just
what we do.
raising up from the top. Both of you guys.
But I read. But I guess they should, contact someone like yourself, Bob, and
There's-
say
there's
maybe
more
you
facts
can.
that have to be
All right,
discussed.
maybe
Yep.
they can go after the management
And-
of the storage lockers.
Interesting it is as it is. I'm not the lawyer to contact. I don't do that kind of stuff anymore.
I'm just, I'm
Lots
just
of
sitting.
good lawyers in the area, and
That will take that on.
No, I don't think it's necessary to go lawyer up on that. But I'm just keeping tabs on the number of times Bob says, "I think Sue's right."
what?
Because I think he said it twice this morning.
He has. I know it's
He
been
has, right?
remarkable. So there you go.
Golly, my wife has never heard that phrase.
That's what I'm saying. I'm keeping track. The last time he said, "My wife has never heard that phrase," he said it to me.
You notice he doesn't say Joe's right.
Right?
Well, no, but there's such a wide gap between the two of
Yeah,
us
there you go.
on all kinds of philosophies.
We're on the same side of the table, Bob. That's the
true.
difference.
That is true.
All right, you staying up late tonight, Bob? Patriots are playing.
Patriots, who are they playing?
New York Jets.
Is there any
the
chance
Meadowlands.
they're going to win?
Oh, sure, there's a chance.
Not a really great
It's-
chance.
Sure. I think they're the underdog, but.
Are you
6
staying up?
points. Well, to start, yeah, because the game's going to start at 8:00, so I can be
Okay.
awake at 8:00. Then we'll see how things are going at halftime, and,
Okay.
and like that, and maybe I will try to stay up for the whole thing, 'cause especially if it's a good game. So
Okay.
yeah, but it might be a late night,
What
Nope.
time does it start? 8?
8, which really means
Yeah,
it starts
those
at
are
8:15.
tough ones.
That means they end at 11:30.
Yeah, the 8 o'clock games are tough, but it's a home game, right?
No.
Oh, no, that's
they're-
right.
they're
Sunday
in New-
was
they're in-
home.
Yeah, they're
Sunday
in,
was
they're
home.
at the Meadowlands. So
That's right. You just said that.
so.
So what about the expatriate player?
Well, that's the next thing to bring up, and yeah, and I like Patrick Pass too. I liked him when he was a player here.
but he was quite the
arrested.
hot mess in
I
that.
heard that. Yeah.
His pictures, he was
Yeah, he looks terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm looking here. He's 46, and I'm looking at his picture that I saw. I'm like, you look like you're 60. What has happened?
That was a
But
bad
anyway,
pick.
he's been arrested, allegedly assaulting an 82-year-old man at the Planet Fitness in North Providence, and so they got into some kind of argument over the exercise equipment.
Okay.
You're using the Stairmaster too long, or I don't know what the problem is. And so Patrick Pass, ex-NFL player, so he's still a rather large human being,
Yep.
pushes the 82-year-old. The 82-year-old suffers back injuries in the incident. Plus, it's an attack on someone over 60 or 65. What's the rule in Rhode Island?
I forgot which it is. But
Okay, it's one
I
of
just know
those.
I passed that. I qualify as being elderly. Okay. Hey, the football player should have realized the elderly guy doesn't have the stamina to be on whatever this equipment is that long. Just wait until the old guy has done his stuff and go
But it
on.
might be the other way around. It might be Patrick Pass is on the elliptical or the
Okay.
or the treadmill, and the 82-year-old wants to get his mile walk in or whatever, or 2 miles, or when he wants to get in.
He can't
This is-
possibly
There
make this.
are-
miles.
there-
Oh, sure he can.
There are.
This is a bad example because they have a ton of treadmills.
It's a really bad example.
Yeah.
That's what I was just going to say. There are
It's
many
gotta be something else.
pieces of equipment. Yeah, it has to be.
But they said they argued over exercise equipment. So
Right.
okay, is it the weights?
Well, part of the problem well, it should be at any gym. I don't know that it is, but at Planet Fitness, like they don't allow banging, clanging,
Oh, no,
grunting,
that's every- yeah.
groaning, moaning.
I think that's
yeah.
every-
So if they don't allow
Yeah.
all of that, and I'm just again devil's advocate here. You know, Patrick Pass is lifting heavy, and then when he's dropping it or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only because there's enough equipment there to go around.
And the old guy goes over and admonishes him. The old guy
Well, I
must
don't
have
know.
a death wish. I mean,
But
you're
he
going
could
up
be. You
against this,
never know.
this former patriot who's in great shape, and you're 82.
I don't
Come
know.
on.
I don't know who started the argument.
Okay.
I
Right.
would like to know.
I would like more details on that
walked up,
myself.
Who walked up to who to complain about you using
Whatever
the
you
equipment
were
too
doing,
long,
yeah.
or you're not using it right, or and in some cases, and I can go with Planet Fitness because I've been there before. Sometimes there is only one piece of equipment, and the only thing I can think of right now it's a leg press.
The leg press. I was
You-
literally just
you
gonna
you
say
sit
that.
in it and you put your legs up, and,
Yeah.
and so you push.
Right.
But there's only one,
Okay.
and
Because,
so
but
you
they
have to
also
wait.
they have others that are also leg presses
Yeah.
that you sit, and when you do your, I was just there Monday looking around at the equipment. When you push your legs, your body goes up,
All right.
as opposed to your legs pushing
Your legs,
up.
yeah.
So, but you are correct. There is only one leg press.
But I've been at Planet Fitness before where I've wanted to use that, and sure enough, someone's using it. Okay, go do something else.
Yeah.
Walk
Yep.
over there, lift some weights. If you're done doing that, they're still using it. Okay, do some push-ups if you want.
Right. You're going to walk over to somebody that's doing 300-pound leg presses.
That's right. You're
Yeah, I
just gonna
just don't
go
know.
do something else. So, but I would love to know what the actual
Yeah,
altercation
me
was.
too.
Who started it? What were they arguing about? But in the end, the 46-year-old ex-NFL player should not be shoving the 82-year-old man.
Absolutely not.
That's just not right as all. So, so Patrick Pass will be back in court in December. I'm sure he's out on his own personal recognizance.
Yeah, I think they
kind of
said
thing.
$10,000.
I
I think that was. I don't know. Somebody's got $10,000 bail. I read about.
But did you see on
and he should have it.
I think it was him.
Sean Diddy Combs? He offered a $50 million payment for bail plus
and they said no.
confinement in his home and
they
wearing
said
a
no.
monitor. And
good for the judge.
the judge said no.
No. How about that?
Well, I think that he's going to have. I think that Mr. Combs is going to have some either isolation wherever he's going for incarceration, or he's going to be a target for, I would imagine, a whole lot of the other inmates who are there.
Or
Yep.
it's the other side. He pulls like a Bill Cosby, and Bill Cosby went to prison and he was adored.
Yeah.
This guy's a huge, or was a
Celebrity.
huge music celebrity in the rap community. They may be welcoming him with open arms.
Yeah.
However, but Bob's also got a point on the other side. The crimes that he's committed usually don't go over
Those,
well
those don't. Those,
Well,
those don't
in
fly.
prison.
No.
Yeah.
He's alleged to have committed. He hasn't been
Yeah,
convicted.
you're right. You're right.
But I would
The,
also
the other
think that-
prisoners don't care about alleged, Bob.
I would also think
No.
that the fact that he is so very wealthy would encourage people who were inmates and who were trying to secure money from him to make threats that unless you pay my family X number of dollars, we're going to beat your head in.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's going to be really difficult too.
Did you hear him also complain about the living conditions at the prison?
I didn't hear that one.
They're not comfortable.
Oh, for God's sake.
Have you seen he asked, have you seen the conditions inside? They're awful. And we had I think it wasn't Chief Oates, it was Chief Carey was here one time, and he said, prison is not meant to be comfortable.
No.
It's supposed to be not good.
Yeah.
So they're not cleaning things up there, Sean. for
One of
you.
my commercials coming up talks about prisons in a case in Rhode Island.
Oh, well, we'll look forward to that. Are you surprised that the judge said no to the $50 million?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Because I thought that I thought that his offer for $50 million, I won't run away. If he does run away, then he forfeits the $50 million. The conditions that he stay within his own property and he wear the monitor to show where he is, I thought that would have been enough to convince a judge that he was likely to show up at the time of trial.
Okay.
Bail is to determine whether or not you're likely to show up and whether or not you're likely to be a risk to other people during the time between the time of arrest and the time of actual trial. If he was an individual who had a violent history of assaulting people on the street for no apparent reason, then I can see a judge saying, okay, we think that you're a risk to continue that kind of behavior, and therefore we're going to incarcerate you until the time of trial. That was one thing. If the judge thought, okay, you're likely to run away and not be available at the time of trial, that would be another reason to have him incarcerated with no bail. But here, well, the bail was tremendous in my eyes. $50 million is a lot of money. And the fact that he was supposed to be on the monitor so they'd know where he was, and if he was, heading to JFK Airport with tickets to Bengali or something, they'd be able to stop him. I was surprised that the judge said no.
Okay, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program and more coming your way. But, Sue, time for a second message from the Blackstone Valley Call-in Times.
I wasn't expecting that because I was a couple minutes late, so I thought you did a recording.
We can do a recording.
No, that's okay. So as I was saying, today's the last day for your votes. Get your votes in for your best all-around business, all-around restaurant, best steak even. We've got a wide range of selections. So you want to get online at www.woonsocketcall.com. When you do that and you hit, let's just say, dining, and it goes to a series of odd commercials, pop-ups, whatever, just go back again and it will open it up. Don't know what that glitch is, but at least it happens on my phone and my computer. So if that happens, just hit the arrow, go back, and you'll be fine. Again, at www.woonsocketcall.com. In the meantime, if you're looking for anything to have the paper delivered, e-editions, circulation issues, can call my cell at 487-4136.
Very good, Sue. More of Coffee and coming your way. It's time for the forecast being brought to you by Allstate.
Cloudy skies with a high near 71 and a breeze from the northeast up to 25 miles per hour. A quarter of an inch of rain is possible today. Tonight, cloudy skies, overnight low of 60 degrees, a 40% chance of some showers, less than a tenth of an inch is expected. Friday's weather, cloudy skies and 66, a 50-50 chance of a shower, or maybe a quarter of an inch of rain on Friday. Friday night, another 50-50 chance of some showers and cloudy skies, overnight low of 57. Saturday, more clouds than sun, high of 65, and a northeast wind gusting over 30 miles per hour. Sunday, mostly cloudy skies and 64. Monday, partly sunny with a high of 66. Tuesday, mostly cloudy and 67. And next Wednesday, mostly cloudy, high of 69.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, under mostly sunny skies, we have 65 degrees. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois. Get hands-on with our creative crafts and learn how to create beautiful charcuterie bouquets that will wow your friends and family at the Honey Shop Academy, in the same building as the famous Honey Shop store next to Navigant Credit Union on Park Avenue. Did you ever want to learn about foraging for mushroom hunting? Our expert instructors will guide you through the wonders of nature, dive into the fascinating world of beekeeping, herbal medicine, permaculture, and so much more. With our horticultural gardening methods, you'll cultivate the skills to grow a thriving garden right at home. Don't miss out on this opportunity to enrich your life, make new friends, and explore your passions. Call the Honey Shop Academy today at the Honey Shop today. 401-766-1488 to learn about our upcoming classes or to schedule your own private group session at the Honey Shop Academy at the Honey Shop store.
Lou Mandeville here to tell you the only place to get your local high school and college scores, as well as the Pats, Bruins, Celtics, and Sox, is on My Morning Sports Reports. And they are right here on ON 1240, Monday through Friday on the Morning Fun Show.
And it's Coffee on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Sue Tesser McKenzie and Bob Lauder. And Bob, time for our first message from your law office, please.
Thank you. I'll put off the one about the prisons until later. I'd like to talk to you this morning about a recent law which imposes new obligations on landlords renting residential units. The law is known as Section 34-18-58 of the General Laws of the State of Rhode Island. Among the most important provisions of the statute, a landlord who rents residential real estate must provide to the Rhode Island Department of Health in writing the following items. A. The name of the landlord, along with the business address, an active email address, the identity of each rental unit, and the telephone number for each tenant. And although the statute does not require the name of the tenant, it would seem appropriate to add this to the tenant's phone number. And B, all landlords of residential units constructed prior to 1978 shall also, for each unit, provide the department with a valid certificate of conformance with the Rhode Island statute concerning lead hazard mitigation and regulations derived therefrom, or evidence sufficient to demonstrate that the landlord is exempt from the requirement to obtain a certificate of conformance. Any person subject to this statute who fails to comply with the part that I read is paragraph A is subject to a fine of $50 per month for failure to register, and any person who is subject to this statute who fails to comply with paragraph B regarding the lead mitigation compliance shall be subject to a fine of $125 per month. Furthermore, a landlord may not commence an action to evict a tenant for non-payment of rent unless at the time that the action is commenced the landlord is in compliance with the provisions of the statute. The statute requires that registration should be accomplished not later than October 1st of this year, and that landlords should re-register the information every year thereafter, not later than October 1st of each succeeding year. Registration can be accomplished online at https://www.rental, R-E-N-T-A-L, registry, registry.ri.gov. If you believe my office may be assistant to you in legal matters, please contact me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer, excuse me, the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
Did you say, Bob, that the owners have to do a lead inspection every year?
I said that they have to file a notice with the Department of Health that they have complied with either the lead mitigation statute or that they do not have to by virtue of the fact that the building is newer than 1978.
Okay. All right.
The part that's most important is not only the fines that involved with this, but the fact that it limits the landlord's ability to start an eviction for non-payment of rent until they've complied with this section of the statute.
Wow. And they've only got 2 weeks.
Yes.
October 1st is coming
Right.
fast. So, all right. Things keep changing, and the state keeps moving forward in the Karen Reed trial. Did you hear the latest of
No, what's going on?
They've hired. They're going with a new prosecutor, not with the one they had in the first trial.
Okay.
We're going with somebody else. So Norfolk District Attorney Michael Morrissey is hiring Whitey Bulger's former defense attorney. How about that? To lead the prosecution of Karen Reed. Hank Brennan, I don't know if you know that name, is now a special prosecutor, and he will lead the team as the office again tries Reed for the 2022 death of her Boston cop boyfriend John O'Keefe in Canton, Massachusetts. As we know, the first trial ended with the hung jury. New trial begins in January. And for some reason, the last sentence says, Morrissey did not disclose how much we'll be paying the new prosecutor for this role. Not that
I
that
don't know
matters,
the parties involved, but that may be a prudent way of trying to attack it, because if the attorney they've hired is a defense attorney, he probably has a lot of experience in trying to bring question the facts that are being brought by a prosecutor. So
Yeah.
if he's going to be a prosecutor, he may have some knowledge of, okay, this is the weak area, this is the area we have to shore up with more evidence, more
Yeah.
testimony. So that may be a very wise move.
by the state.
Right.
Okay, all right. Yeah, especially if he's been the a defense attorney for so many years, and now you're flipping to the other side. It's like, wow. So, okay. Didn't do such a great job on Whitey Bulger though.
Well,
He went to prison,
Right?
yeah,
but there was a lot of evidence against him. So, okay. So that's the state's not backing down. They keep asking for the charges to be dropped and things like that, and the state's just nope, we are moving forward.
the prosecutors must believe they have sufficient evidence that warrants another trial.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Other things going on up in Massachusetts. Newburyport. It's the world we live in now, and you can't make threats. You can't do anything like that. So a child's been charged in connection with a threat against Knock Middle School in Newburyport. Police learned on Monday night that a student had made an online threat to bring a gun to school. Just typed it out, and just you can't do this anymore.
How old was the
Well, you're in middle
student?
school, so you're between 11 and 14.
Okay.
Maybe. Police were able to determine it was not credible, and the person making the threat was not a student at the school. Oh, okay. No information is being released about the suspect because they are a juvenile, though.
I would
Not
imagine
at
they're going
that
to be
school.
prosecuted under the law for juveniles. Yes,
Under the what?
law.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so, do you think they get any time, like in a state school or something like that?
If there's a conviction, I would expect there may be some time spent in what would be the equivalent in Rhode Island of the training school. Yeah.
Oh, back to Karen Reed.
Oh,
Because
yes.
because her attorney, he's not happy.
Well, no.
Karen Reed's attorney, Alan Jackson, is criticizing the DA, Michael Morrissey, for hiring an outside special prosecutor for the second trial. As we just mentioned, Morrissey has hired Whitey Bulger's defense attorney, Hank Brennan, to lead the prosecution. Jackson says the fact that Morrissey is using taxpayer funds to hire an outside lawyer to prosecute this case speaks volumes about his confidence in his own team. Okay. Jackson says Reed is innocent and they will defeat this unjust prosecution just like they did before. Do you read it that way, Bob? That I have my whole stable of lawyers. None of you are any good, so we have to go outside our little stable.
I don't think that has any real bearing on the trial itself. That's a nice publicity shot at the prosecutor and the attorney general, but I don't think that has any real bearing on the trial.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to put out things that you think are going to
Help
influence
you.
the public
Yeah.
on your side,
Mhm.
but that shouldn't be cutting water when it gets before a judge and a jury.
And the whole part about you're using taxpayer money to hire someone from the outside doesn't really fly either.
It's a nice publicity shot. It
Yeah.
may be
I
something
think it's
that
an awesome publicity shot because I mean, really, you're saying your team's not good. Period.
What does that have to do with the trial itself,
I
though?
don't say it has anything to
Yeah.
do with the trial, but your
Yeah.
team isn't good enough
We have to go get
to
someone
prosecute we have to go outside. I mean, that's ouch. I wouldn't want to be on that receiving end.
Well, you could also say that everybody on the prosecuting team is cross-eyed, and therefore they shouldn't be driving cars. But that has nothing to do with.
No, I didn't
with
say it
the-
has
the
anything to
trial
do with the
either.
case, but that's not. I'm sorry. That's
You think it carries weight?
that's a shot. That is a
Okay.
shot.
You'll be happy to know, Bob, a new poll shows that the Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris has a huge lead over Donald Trump among Rhode Island voters.
Rhode Island is a primarily dark blue state. I'm glad to hear it in Rhode Island voters, but I'm going to be really interested to find out in early November after the election who had the greatest number of votes.
Right now, according to the University of New Hampshire Survey Center, Harris has 58% of registered voters polled, while Trump has 38%.
In Rhode Island.
That's just Rhode Island.
Okay.
Okay. The poll also said that most voters have already made up their minds on which candidate they'll be voting for in November. 97% of Harris voters and 90% of Trump supporters say they already know who they're selecting. Already.
I would think
We
that,
don't need any other influence.
well, they've had so much publicity. They've had
Yeah.
the debates. Each side has made their positions known on so many issues. I would think that most voters have pretty much decided who they're going to vote for, unless there was some remarkable event that took place between now and the November elections.
Yeah, something big would have to happen.
I don't see a major change on either side.
All right, we're going to take another break here on the Coffee and program. So it's time to hear Bob's prison story. Not
The
that Bob
prison
was
story.
not that Bob was in prison.
Not yet.
Second message, Bob.
Thank you. Good morning. I'd like to discuss with you this morning a case that involves the free time which the Rhode Island Department of Prisons affords to its inmates. The case is known as Vidot versus Salisbury, and it was filed by an inmate on his own, but with sufficient legal acumen to correctly appeal the litigation to the state Supreme Court. The inmate argued that the Department of Corrections was violating the department's internal policy, as well as state law, when it failed to provide inmates with a daily minimum of 8.5 hours outside of their cells. The case began in the state Superior Court, and after a judgment in favor of the Department of Corrections, the inmate filed an appeal to the state Supreme Court. The state Supreme Court affirmed the Superior Court's decision. The court found that the statute which outlines the duties of the Director of the Department of Corrections clearly bestows upon the Director a great deal of discretion in the exercise of his or her duties. The court said that in both previous and the amended versions of the Department's policies, they contemplate that the Rhode Island Department of Corrections must exercise its discretion in the exigent circumstances, especially in the cases of emergencies or in the event of overriding conditions, and for all the purposes of maintaining a safe and orderly operation of the facility. If you'd like to discuss legal matters with me, please contact my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
So they're saying they're supposed to have 8.5 hours outside every day?
Outside of their cell every day.
Outside the cell, just
Right.
not outside.
No, outside
I
of the
see.
cell.
Okay.
And the department was not doing that, and the state Supreme Court
Well,
said
things
there
come
are
up.
circumstances
Yeah.
wherein the department has the right to amend these rules and have less time.
Yeah.
But a part of the interesting part was that the case was brought by the inmate on his own, filed all the documents and prepared them on his own, and was able to file a appeal to the state Supreme Court and the documents which went along with that to get it before the judges for a decision.
Well,
Now,
so-
would that
well,
include if they're short-staffed? You know, let's say a shift is not covered properly.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to take a break here on Coffee and more coming up, and you can still call in your comments or questions at 766-1240.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Celebrate St. James, CYO, and Youth Ministry in Manville, Rhode Island. In honor of the parish's 150th anniversary, a CYO and Youth Ministry open house reunion will be held on Sunday, October 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. in the parish gym. Reconnect with friends and relive your favorite memories from sports, dances, plays, singing in the choir, and more. For more information, visit stjamesmanville.org. That's SAINT, jamesmanville.org. Don't miss out. Spread the word and celebrate with us.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
It is Coffee In on ON. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Bob Lotter, Sue Tesser McKenzie, and they had to do a poll on this, and this is just going to knock you over with a feather. Ready?
Oh, my God. Go ahead.
What's this?
New survey shows a lot of remote workers are doing household chores while they're on the job.
Oh, for God's sake.
They had to do a poll.
There is a commercial for Febreze, okay, that
Yeah.
specifically says, I work from home, and before I get my day started, I need to make sure my house is clean and fresh.
Well,
Okay,
there you go.
so you needed a poll for that.
They polled a company called SurveyMonkey, polled over 3,000 full-time workers in the U.S., and found that nearly half of those who work from home are also doing laundry and other items on their to-do list.
Wait
So
a
maybe
minute.
they're ironing, too.
But
at the
they're
same
not
time.
taking a lunch break or their
Well, that-
15-minute
well, that's
break.
right.
So they're whatever.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a balance.
It
but
is. Yes, Bob.
If I were working from home,
Yes.
I think I'd use this as an opportunity not to do stuff. I don't have to make the bed this morning. I can just leave it a mess. I don't have to load the washing machine or the dishwasher. I've got to concentrate on my business.
Yeah, but you
But-
can't focus. Like the commercial says, I get it. Because, so if I'm sitting, because I have my kitchen table. I'm sitting at my kitchen table and wanting to work, and I'm seeing, okay, those dishes are driving me crazy.
right.
You get up and do it. But again, working from home also affords you the ability to work different hours.
Right.
So yesterday morning when I'm 5 a.m. emailing somebody, or last night at 9:35 when I'm sending emails, not that I work from home, but the way my schedule is, because I work on the road, from home I can do whatever I want.
About a third of the people, so that's 1,000, say they run errands while they're remote working. Others like to take a nap. 17% say they watch TV and they play video games.
You see, I'm not. Yeah, no.
I think Sue is a lot more responsible than I am. She sees the dishes there, and it makes her feel that they should be. I wait until we run out, and then maybe
then you
we'll,
do it.
we'll
Yeah,
start.
but then everything's so messy. It's like, oh, I can't do this. No, it needs.
I've seen different videos on Facebook, and it shows people getting together on Zoom calls, and they say, and and before they get into it, they say, wait a minute, Sue, where are you?
Yeah.
I'm at home, but the beach is right in the background. She
Right.
goes, I'm working, but you're not at home. Home is where the Wi-Fi is.
Yeah, people can. You can
I can
work
be
anywhere.
anywhere.
But if during like COVID and all that stuff, I'm always a phone call away for anybody because of a cell phone.
And that's the
But
point. Am I getting
I
my work done?
couldn't
Yes.
be like at the beach even though I'm still working. Don't get me wrong, I've been at the beach and still working, but
But a
not
client may call you and say, I
right.
need you over here right away.
I'm not there. I'm not at the beach letting my employer think that
Yeah,
I'm
I
in
know.
my office.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised. Yeah. All right. You want to? They actually tell you when you're in the office. Get up and stretch. Don't sit at your desk for 8 hours
No.
straight. You gotta move. So here you go. All right. Get up at home. Walk down the hall. Throw the load of laundry in. walk back to your computer. Sit back
Right.
down. It's the same thing. If you get up, like if I get up from here and go outside and do like 5 laps around the parking lot, what's the difference?
As long as the tasks that you have been assigned to
getting
handle
complete.
are being
done.
accomplished successfully,
That's right. Then
I
we're
don't
all-
think it
everything's all
matters
set.
if you're throwing throwing the laundry
I
in
don't
at the
think
same
so either.
time.
I think it matters. I mean, not for nothing, 'cause you're always going to get those people that are going to take advantage of any situation they possibly can.
Oh, sure.
Which are the people playing the video games
taking the naps.
and what taking naps and what that's completely different. I mean, understanding they could also be working at
Much
8,
later
9
hours, too.
o'clock at night. I get that, but I think you have to try your best to
You know,
work.
we could move the microphone into Joe's house, and he could be working from home too.
Right?
I did a coffee in from my house.
You did?
For about 2 months. Yeah,
Whoa.
Was that during COVID?
during COVID. Yeah. And
How was that?
It for the most part it worked out just fine. Although I got a couple of laughs. They said that's a good looking dollhouse in the background, Joe. 'Cause
Right?
That was the room I was using. It was like
It's like,
my
what are you
daughter's
gonna do,
playroom. So, well, that's where the dollhouse is. So, anyway,
He said it was his daughter's.
It
favorite.
was, hey.
You know, who knows what he.
Right.
so we have our issues here in Woonsocket, but in New York City, Mayor Eric Adams kicked off the first ever National Urban Rat Summit on Wednesday.
Oh,
They have such an issue in New York City. The focus will be to learn how to control and manage the rat population, which has been a big problem in New York City over the years. There will be presentations from researchers and experts in cities throughout the U.S. and Canada. Adams says the 2-day summit will zero in on a framework for urban rat mitigation challenges, including in parks, sewers, public housing, and trash containerization.
Yeah, that would be the first
Yeah.
problem.
I think anybody who's been to New York recently has seen the significant piles of rubbish
Right,
that
right,
are
right.
on the sidewalks waiting to be taken away. I don't know how
What's
long
the
they.
problem? Are they on strike? Are they?
I don't know if they don't take them.
I think the containers,
Often
like you
enough,
just
or-
said.
Okay.
Maybe it's the containers, what they're put. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I think it's extremely. Everything's close proximity.
Right.
So it turns into, okay, your garbage is a problem, but now your house becomes a problem, or your apartment, or your restaurant, or your business, or whatever the case is, because everything's so
Close.
close.
And you have the subway tunnels, which of course.
Right.
They hang out there.
Yeah.
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 Well,
That's a problem.
It is, and the easy thing to say is we'll just bring in some more cats. That really
I
doesn't
thought
do
they-
it.
Oh, they're-
No, because
oh,
some
this
of
is
the
in
rats
Springfield,
are the
Ohio, where
size
they're
of
eating the
cats.
cats.
No. This is New
Okay.
York City where we're not eating the
Well,
cats.
they're not eating the cats. Okay.
So I accidentally, I think, I'm going to take the blame on this. I think I accidentally brought in a couple of mice.
How?
Whether I was in the basement, had the laundry basket, and they were in there, or pocketbook at the office, or
wow.
Whatever the case
Oh.
is. Because sometimes they also try to get into your car too.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is. And I'm like, you son of a gun. So now all the food, they never got to food other than one pastry pizza, and it was just a little piece. But I digress. They tried to chew into a cabinet.
Yeah.
Never got to the food, so I think it was so bing, bang, boom, quick. I ended up I put traps with the bait, which they then supposedly bring back to their
Right.
homes.
Yeah, but share it.
Right. Nothing happened with that. And then the next day, sure enough, my bag, a bag that I carry every day, I had the pastry pizza, which I forgot was in there, and it was only one piece, and it just chewed a little tiny piece, because it can smell it, even though it's wrapped in plastic, right? And ate a little piece, and I'm like, that's it, I'm done. I bought the sticky traps, emptied that bag,
Those work really good.
and I put the sticky trap at the bottom of my bag, and then I put another one leading
Yeah.
into the kitchen. I got 2. I haven't seen anything since, but they stuck right to that thing. I just
You
covered them.
say, oh, it's cruel. Yeah.
You know what?
Too bad.
Yes. I couldn't dwell on it. I couldn't
Yes.
dwell on that because they're also quite germy. And, no. It is cruel. I agree. I could not dwell on that fact. I just covered them with paper.
Out of
wrapped
sight,
it-
out of mind.
Yep. No, I couldn't be having that.
All right. You want a good animal story?
Yeah.
In San Diego, the nation is they're celebrating they performed a C-section on a porcupine for the very first time.
Why?
Well,
Thanks, Bob.
according to the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, the C-section saved the lives of the mother porcupine and the baby.
Okay.
I figured they both were going to die, so they did a C-section. Veterinarians say this marks a major advancement in veterinary science and a huge step forward in conservation efforts. Mom and baby porcupine are doing fine.
Okay.
After the C-section.
Good.
First one ever done, so someone has to be first, I guess.
Oh, did you see, talking of well, they're not animals, I guess they're mammals, the big whale that accidentally got a seal in its mouth?
No.
It was on the news last night.
Yeah.
Accidentally, because I guess they were both going for the same school of fish, and I guess
all right.
the humpback, I think it was a humpback, they don't eat seals.
Right, yeah.
And accidentally got the seal, and it shows a picture. I'll find the
Did he
picture.
spit it out?
You can see, yeah, he did. But you can see the seal's face, like, hello. I mean, I got to find that picture. You're going to laugh.
All right, while you're looking that up, we actually got to go. We've run out of time. So thank you very much for joining us today. Always appreciated. Bob Lauder, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for inviting me. Hope to be here with you next week.
All right, good luck with your hand, by the way.
Thank you.
We'll be playing squash in no time.
Good. Good.
And Sue, thanks for coming in today as well.
Thank you, and have a great rest of the week.
All right, I'm Joe Callahan. Enjoy your day, and stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do your remembers at 9:30 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.